considering how well they did in winner's bracket, it feels like there's almost no chance that they are going to have a rough day today. I think no matter how it goes, and look, match point, we have to keep saying it, it's unpredictable. That's part of the fun of it.
Yeah.
I think these guys are going to be top 5, no questions.
And NRG has so much to prove. This is kind of the thing that the last thing they've got to do to say we are the best. We know Sweet's considered the best IGL, but he's got to hoist that trophy, Tiff.
Yeah, that's the thing. You talk about being the best IGL in the world, but you have to do it on the stage. I feel like you can't say, I did it on the worldwide stage, I've got a playoffs, I've won champs. You need that land trophy to say you're the best IGL in the world.
Currently stays with 0 right now because he's won twice.
Yeah, I mean, the IGL question is a little bit tricky. I might actually give that one over to 0. But as a team at the moment, I think NRG definitely have the lead. I mean, they picked up Guild, obviously, from the old Team Liquid roster, and I think that's been a massive pickup for them. He was one of the freshest, most exciting, most explosive players on the scene. And to add him to Sweet and Nathan, insane lineup.
Great pickup. It worked well for Xset, and it worked well for NRG. One of the things I find that's amazing is not all of these teams have been sitting and waiting in the winner's bracket. Some have to grind up from the bottom through yesterday's grueling elimination brackets 1 and 2, and sometimes just 2, which is scary. Luminosity Gaming, though, they turned up the heat to not 11, it was 25, it was 100 as you saw them pop off a massive game, one of the biggest we've seen at LAN, 35 points. Let's talk a little bit about Luminosity Gaming.
Yeah, obviously going through the losers bracket finals isn't exactly what they wanted, to have to play another set. But they made the comp swap, and they're going confident into today as well. That is valuable momentum for them. We saw them, they had quite a few big games as well, so I'm excited to see how they do today. That's for sure.
I mean, one of the things I've been impressed is the 19-year-old Yanya. We talked about $40,000 in earnings already as a 19-year-old. That should show you that they've been successful. This is a team who's kind of ridden under the radar, Tiff, and I think that's where, again, this stage is proving themselves finally to the world.
Yeah, it's really crazy to think that Luminosity, this team that they picked up, is underrated because they constantly perform well. They just haven't done it on a stage in front of a large crowd to give them that momentum, that kind of like that following that some of the larger organizations like TSM and RG have. And I feel as if they show out here behind us tonight, everyone's gonna know.
Absolutely. What a moment it is. Match Point Sunday. I like to say it, you either win or go home. You either win or we keep going. For those unfamiliar with this format, we will not leave here until someone crosses 50 points, and then that team after that wins a game. It could go a while, but we will, throughout, of course, the entirety of the day, probably have some amazing moments. We had some amazing moments yesterday as well, Tiff. I mean, E6, Alliance going at it, that K-Swinny Kraber shot, I expect that we'll have more of that this afternoon.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that. As soon as he hit the no-scope on the hipfire, I was like, okay, I got to watch it backstage. I was like, man, it's sick. Anytime you hit a Kraber shot, I mean, he had 2 bullets in the chamber, and one goes directly into him, and then follows it up with some insane damage. Like, he is so fun to watch. Throughout group stages, they were changing their legend compositions based on what Wig's chat was voting. And he literally tweeted this morning, he was like, who should I play today? Who should he play?
Yeah, they are fantastic. Talk about clutch moment right there for Swinny with the Kraber too. They have some big games, and I'm excited to see how big their games can be today. Obviously, they deserve to be here. They've played well throughout the entire season, so let's see what they've got.
Maybe some young guns, I think, have kind of risen to stars in this. I think Alliance Yuki might be one of the most popular players in all of the ALGS right now. Not just for how he looks, I mean, he's a handsome guy, Gino, but at the end of the day, he's been popping off in more clutch situations than we have seen any other player do.
Yeah, not just for that, absolutely. On the server, he is a monster. That clutch he had against Hal, I mean, it was almost a battle of wills at one point, right? You know, who had the trigger discipline? Just a couple of bullets left in the chamber for each. He's taken left, right, and he still came out on top against one of the best players, and honestly one of the one of the players with the best mental, like someone else you'd expect to pop off in that clutch situation, right? So for Yuki to come out on top there, that says so much about him.
Earned a lot of respect over the course of the season. Alliance have only been getting better. We're told they like to finish strong at the end. Well, there's no more time after this, so we'll see how they do today. Let's take a look, though, at how you can participate in choosing, whether it's Yuki, whether it's K-Swinny, whether it's someone like LG Yanya as your MVP today. If you go into the Twitch chat, if you're watching even in the Copper Box Arena, we're going to show a graphic for you that details how it will go. On Twitter, on Twitch, go hashtag and the player's name. You can see them on screen if you're worried about how it looks for the player you want to vote. Hashtag, say their name, whether it's Twitch, whether it's Twitter. We will count that up at the end of the day, and we might have ourselves a monster MVP at the end that you yourself have voted for based on their performance. A lot of great names on this list, Monsoon. It's hard to pick one.
It is hard to pick one. Obviously, all these players can be the MVP in-game as well, but I think I have to go through with Nocturnal as the ALGS Monster MVP, 100%.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we've also got a couple of very important things to let you know if you are watching at home. By the way, hi, chat. Hi, everybody in chat. Say hi back. We miss you. We love you. And we know that next time you'll try to be here. We want to let you know that there are Twitch drops available while you are watching this. So if you are even in the Copper Box, like I said, you might have internet, you might not. Throw open that phone, watch. You will earn some unique cosmetics, some unique things that mean that you were here in this moment watching the Apex Legends Global Series. Tiff, you know, ain't a bad day of watching Apex hitting free stuff.
I mean, I love like collecting my drops for sure. I would definitely go for the Volt skin. I have a really, really sick Volt skin, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, anytime I can black out my guns, that's what I would like to do.
All right, let's get into it. We're about to kick things off. I do want to mention that the talent had a discussion backstage, and we wanted to see who we thought was going to win. Sometimes this is about stats. Sometimes it is just about heart and feeling and gut. We never know who's going to do it. I guarantee only a few people have picked Dark Zero twice. Did anyone pick him for 3 times? Let's go to our talent predictions and see what we voted for. I've got TSM. I don't know why. I just think it might happen. I think Dark Zero could do it. I think we might see it from NRG. Monsoon, we don't have you up there. Tiff?
I told you, it's Alliance.
Okay.
They have that clutch factor in Yuki. They've got motivation. They have power. They have drive. Plus, we're in Europe right now. They've got the EMEA buff.
That's
I'm
right.
sure they've got a ton of fans in the crowd here. We know Mandy's been popping off. We've seen him on the desk, literally. So, yeah, of course.
Do you know?
You're like, I might have to check the rest of the talent's eyes because I don't know what they were watching yesterday if they didn't pick NRG.
That's right.
These guys are just crazy. And the other thing we know about them is they're well rested.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
You know, didn't scrim too much coming into this. So they were just saving their energy for the stage.
Monsoon, I know you didn't get in here, but who do you have as your pick? What's your talent prediction?
Oh, man.
Go with your gut.
It's so difficult, especially being a player. It can go anybody's way. I'd have to go with Xset. I think they can do it.
Wow,
You know, they started
right.
off rough in the winner's bracket yesterday, but they ended it really strong as well, and I know that they have the capabilities. But other than that, Guard's looking really good as well. Alliance, like you said, all these teams, phenomenal.
So many players, so many stories. We couldn't possibly tell you all that has happened in the last 6 months, which has been the last time that someone has been able to call themselves a champion up until now. But we do know 2 guys who are ready to tell you as much as they possibly can within one game. They're 2 of the best in the business, 2 of my very good friends. Let's get ready to send it up to your casters. You guys ready to start game number 1 of the finals? Let's go! It's the Split 1 playoffs, baby. We're in London. It doesn't get better than this. Match point. And to take you off, it is Onset and Gasket.
Thank you so much, Rain Day. I mean, what a moment this is, Dan. It's been 3 days of action. Teams from all over the globe have been battling for a chance to be here on Championship Sunday, and now we have our 20-team set, and we have that beautiful match point format.
This is crunch time. This is when it matters. This is when you need to turn up at LAN against the biggest, the best in the world. And we start things off on the home. It's World's Edge. Everyone knows it, and I'm very excited.
World's Edge is where we start, and I tell you what, I don't know how long it's going to take us today to crown a champion. We've seen 5-game match point finals. We've seen 15-game match point finals. And I tell you what, it might come down to endurance when we get through these games, Dan. Who can keep that level of consistency at their highest for the longest?
And I'm very excited to see who performs here on World's Edge. A lot of our statistics suggest that this lobby is full of big World's Edge teams, right? We have squads that have performed okay on Stormpoint, but amazing on World's Edge. I'm talking 75% differences at times. So who's going to pop off here in match number 1?
Well, I mean, it's a heck of a zone for NRG by the looks of things. And speaking of NRG, they are the team who come into this lobby, Dan, first place from that winners finals, and that means they get an advantage with points. Match point, of course, if you are watching match point for the first time, you have to hit 50 points in total before then you have to become a champion.
Yeah, NRG have the advantage of 10, then you've got Ascend on 9, E6 on 8, and then we go all the way down, and of course it's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we can see the circle on our screen. Looks like we're going to be going slightly southwest, could be far west. So the likes of NRG at staging, they've got beacon information. This is great because this could end up staging. We've seen a lot of circles around this area, and it'll be down to NRG on how they want to play this one.
Very interested to see how Alliance play this one as well. Are they going to look to quick rotate, or are they going to take a little bit of time? But we'll speak about Alliance in a moment because we have to focus on the #1 team from that winners final coming in here, Dan. NRG. Like you mentioned, perfect start for them. They've got a great zone, they've got a beacon to play with as well. This could be a big game for them.
It could be a massive game for them, but do you want to try and put yourself in a position to convert a victory? Do you want to look for a good points total here? Remember the NRG we saw at the end of yesterday? Ruthless aggression, always pushing in, looking to get those extra kills, looking to punish the lobby. Or are we going to see today maybe a more strategical NRG, just ones who want to maybe secure those points via placement? They've got a lot of kills so far this tournament, and I think they have the benefit of being able to play either way.
Well, now we see Gambare Otasan making their rotation as well. Good priority for them to get towards zone, but there's a lot of teams already making their way to the other side of staging at the moment into that choke, and this is what I've kind of coined, in my opinion, the NRG zone. We saw them win multiple tournaments from around that beacon, and we're going to have to see if that's going to be the case again. We do have beacon information on our screens as well, and that looks like exactly where we're headed now.
And our two best performing